A new poll shows that a record number of Americans want to leave the United States and move permanently to another country. The poll was conducted by Gallup Consulting Company. The study shows that 16% of Americans want to leave the country now. The upsurge is blamed on President Donald Trump's administration. The figure was 10 during Trump's predecessor Barack Obama and 11 during the presidency of George W. Bush. Now, Canada is the first choice for the people who want to forego the American dream. In terms of gender, the number is higher among the females. Well, let's ask why. We'll go to Newark. We have Nicholas Ayala, anti-Conista member and the anti-imperialist activist, joining us. Good to have you with us, Nicholas. Well, I just heard, what's the reason, what are the factors behind this decision for that number of Americans who want to leave the U.S. and forgo American dream? And also, why do we have higher number among women?
I think one of the reasons you see a rise in the amount of people who want to leave the country is because of the increase in violent attacks targeting marginalized communities within the country. Recently we saw the death of Jasmine Barnes, who was a 7-year-old black girl who was killed and murdered by a white male who came and shot up the car she was in. And before this, we saw numerous other attacks against women like Nia Wilson, who was a teenage girl who was stabbed to death by a white male. So these attacks, what they demonstrate is that over and over again, specific communities, specifically black communities and women, are being targeted by white domestic terrorism, specifically people who are influenced by Trump's hate rhetoric, white males predominantly, who are targeting these communities and killing them and killing people, making many people feel unsafe. And on top of this, recently reports have come out demonstrating that the U.S. is one of the most dangerous countries for women. These attacks, on top of the attacks against women's rights from the Republican Party, all sort of aid to this dangerous feeling that is created within the United States, especially now that Donald Trump is president.
Nicholas, I got another question for you. These people who have decided to leave America for good, well, most of them opt for Canada. Why Canada?
I think a lot of people are looking at Canada and even Western Europe because they see the social welfare programs that the United States used to have, and they want that back. They want that to be back in their life again. They want a U.S. government which is actually willing to take care of its people and not just sit back and watch these attacks and watch the violence and watch the rights just disappear. And I think that Canada is just one example of where some people would want to go because of things like universal health care, as well as better social welfare programs. And people really want to see a return to those programs because they knew that those programs will be beneficial to their lives.
All right, thank you for that. So that was Nicholas Ayala, who is an anti-Conquista member and anti-imperialist activist, joining us from Newark.